Welcome. On this lesson, we will take a look at an extra example about how to solve functional equations. So let's get started. So this is the example that we'll be working on today. It states, find a function f of x that will satisfy the following equation. And notice that this is a functional equation. So what exactly do we want to do here? Well, notice that my functional equation, it's written in terms of f of 1 minus x. And what we want to do is we want to find a function f of x. We want to find a solution. So somehow we need to rewrite this f of 1 minus x just in terms of f of x. But notice that one way that we can do that is by performing a small substitution. So what would happen if we substitute the expression x with the expression 1 minus x? So what exactly happens to my functional equation if we do this? Well, let's go to my functional equation and perform that substitution. So now my first term is going to become 1 minus x squared. Then I'm going to have f of 1 minus, and again, notice that now I'm going to substitute this x with 1 minus x. So we're going to have 1 minus x here, big parenthesis equals 2, 1 minus x minus 1 minus x all to the fourth. Let's simplify all this. Well, my first term is going to become x squared minus 2 of x plus 1 plus big F. Now, if we distribute that negative, it becomes 1 minus 1 plus x. Then, if we distribute this, it becomes a 2. And if we distribute this, that becomes a 2 of x. And now that negative, it's a big negative. And now if we simplify 1 minus x all to the fourth, we're going to end up with the expression of x to the fourth minus 4x cubed plus 6x squared minus 4 of x plus 1. Let's continue simplifying all this. So we have x squared minus 2 of x plus 1 plus, and now notice what's going to happen inside this parenthesis. Now, inside this parenthesis, this 1 and minus 1 are going to cancel out. And notice what we have left. All we have left is just x. So now we have rewritten our function equation just in terms of f of x. Well, let's continue simplifying all this. 2 minus 2 of x. Now this big negative is going to get distributed to every single one of them. So all that's going to happen, we're just going to change the sign. So now it becomes negative x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 6x squared. Oops, sorry. If we're changing signs, that should be a negative. So minus 6 plus 4 of x minus 1. And now that we have this big expression here, again, all we're just solving for f of x. So let's isolate that f of x. So let's get rid of this x squared, and let me just put it right here so it becomes easier to simplify. So that's done. Let me add a 2x here, and let me add a 2x here. So that's gone. Let me take away 1. Let me take away 1. So that's gone. So now notice that all that is left on the left-hand side is just f of x. And that's exactly what we're looking for. We wanted to find a function for f of x. And we have it here now. All we got to do is just manipulate the right-hand side. So let's just do that. So that becomes a 2. They should cancel out. So we got minus x to the fourth plus 4x to the third. And if we simplify that, that becomes 7x squared plus 4 of x minus 2. So this is f of x. So here we have f of x now. But that's not written in standard form. So let's just rewrite this in standard form. So f of x, let's go from highest to lowest exponent. So the first, I got negative 4x squared. Then x cubed, that's the only x cubed. So let me just rewrite that. Then we go to the second, minus 7x squared. And all we got to do here is simplify, but notice that this 2 is going to cancel out with this 2, so now I got a plus 4. Oops, and I just noticed a little mistake here. Notice that this 4 is not just 4, because this 2 brought it down, this x to the 4 brought it down, this was brought down, but now this 4 is not just 4, but should have been 4x. So, quick mistake, nothing big. So there we have it. So now this function right here, it's a function in terms of f of x. And this is exactly what we were looking for. We were looking for a function that is in terms of f of x. And now this f of x is the solution of this functional equation that we were given here. So the idea here is that sometimes when we are given a functional equation, and if we want to solve for f of x, take a look at what you've been given, and then ask yourself this question: how can I rewrite the inside of f of x in terms of something that we want? We want it of x, and we have 1 minus x. And we were able to accomplish that by just substituting every single x with the expression of 1 minus x. We could have substituted any expression that we wanted to. We could have substituted by the expression 1 minus 2 of x, but that's not going to help us out because we would have simplified. It would not give us f of x. We wanted f of x. With what we've been given, we could have accomplished that by just substituting x with 1 minus x. And with this, it concludes our lesson for that extra example for functional equations.